everyone, this is Patrick Skye. If you don't know who he is the cosplay king of the Green Ranger. You may see him at Comic-Cons doing his cosplay thing, going around creating positive memories with people. And today, I am going to do some unboxing of some stuff that he sent me. I gave him my goddamn the Henry Resilient P.O. box, which I'm hoping he ain't tell nobody because it's top secret. You know what I'm saying?
those flat earthers may have gotten a hold of that.
Oh my good, not the flat earthers. Now here's the thing, guys. He cannot hear the sound effects, so when I do them, he can't hear them. But you know, for this first portion, how about this? Let me add myself. Let's add myself so you can see me, so you're not just talking to yourself. Just give me a second to set the layout. Boop, 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 boop. Dude, all right. So, what did you mail me, Patrick Skye? So, look, guys, this is what he sent me. This is my first time looking at it. It looks like it's an official copy of Rise of the Dragon. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I thought I customized and personalized it.
This shit caught me way off guard. It says, to Henry, all Ranger love, Patrick Skye. Let's get some of that on that. Like, so it's signed. I gotta put it somewhere. I'll put it with my JDF comic.
If you sell it on eBay.
I'm not gonna sell it, man. I gotta keep it. You know. Let me not put the Ranger the address up. And
no, you actually look at the address. Look at the address.
Yeah,
I thought you liked that.
I would show you guys, but then it would dox myself. But he did put a fake address on here that the post office did not catch. We gotta get him for wire fraud.
You know, you needed the other one, the one to complete your matching set.
So I do have a Legend of the White Dragon pin, but now I have the enemy of the Legend of the White Dragon. So this is Dragon Prime. If you guys don't know, I may be at the goddamn premiere. I don't know if they're gonna give me an invite or not, but maybe I'll sneak my ass up in there. So what I wanted to do today, if you don't mind, is go through your book. And you can give me a second. Let me present, share screen. Give me a second. All right. Hold up. This is not looking right. Okay, because we got to go right here with it. Give me a second. I gotta do some shit. Gotta do some mastery. I'm like, look, guys, you like, what the hell's going on? Did I? Oh no. Shit, where are we at? Patrick, are you still there?
Yeah, so pretty much what Henry's showing right now, he's showing the first page of Rise of the Dragon, issue number 1 right now, where he's showing the front panel of where it starts off on the issue.
I lost my StreamYard link.
Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you, but oh, there we go. There we go. All right. There we go. All right. So now you have the floor properly. I'm like, I'm navigating so many different things right now.
No worries.
Right.
So pretty much what this is a comic based on a film that came out back in 2017, which was Saban's Power Rangers, where they decided to revise and revamp the Power Ranger franchise and make a blockbuster film out of it, since the last one that came out in 1995, which was the Mighty Morphin. So 2017 is kind of like a modern day version of the Power Rangers, of where they are in this day and age. And the film that, for me, did a fantastic job. The film had a budget about 100 to 105 million. I believe it ended off with 148 total blockbuster budget by the end, between the US, Canada, and overseas. Unfortunately, the film didn't receive a sequel green light, but I loved the movie so much, and so many enjoyed it and wanted a sequel, that I couldn't shake the idea of what a sequel could have been.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I wanted to do either an indie fan film or a web series. And one day I woke up and I said, you know what? Who doesn't love comic books? I grew up reading comic books, and I guarantee there's so many out there who enjoyed just going through pages of comic books and collecting them and then going back and reading them. So I said, you know what? I'm going to turn this idea into a comic book. And I had wrote a script out, and I had came across an amazing artist out of Costa Rica, Edgar Siles. On Instagram, his name is brokenveil.art.
Broken
And
view.
we decided to mash our visions together to come up with this limited series. It's going to be 6 issues long, and it's going to pick up directly after the events of the Power Ranger 2017 film, where if you haven't seen the film right now, I'm sorry, we're beyond spoiler territory, but the after credit of the 2017 film was everyone in detention, and they called for a certain person's name.
Ah, y'all see it? All my JDF fans, y'all see it? Now,
Tom Yalla.
I'm looking at
Exactly.
I'm looking at this character, right? And he looks kind of similar to someone I may or may not be familiar with.
Hmm.
Is the main character you?
I think it may have some resemblance to me. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. A little bit.
Wait. So they took your likeness and put it into this because you wrote it? Or was
Yes.
that always the plan?
That was always the
Okay. All right.
that was always the plan. For the envision of Tommy, for me to look like Tommy in this story rendition, because I've cosplayed the character for so long. You know, who doesn't want to say, "Hey, that person looks like me"? So, you know, for me, it was kind of like a little treat to myself. I was like, you know, I'm gonna make this Tommy character look like me. Let's run with it. And
Go ahead.
there may be a certain other person that you may see here that you're like, hold on, he does look familiar too.
I do. Do y'all see him right here? Do y'all see him over here? See my mouse right here? Do y'all see this person or no? No, nothing in the chat. They zombies in the chat right now. But I see the resemblance. Who else is in here? Are there any surprises?
For for the public, no. For me personally, yes.
So how long did it take you to create this?
I've chased this story since the release of the 2017 film. So I've been chasing this story of how to properly bring this to life since 2017. By my original plan was to make a indie fan film out of it, and then I ran into some challenges. Then after that was to turn into a web series, and then the pandemic hit, which kind of locked down everyone. But I didn't want to stop chasing that dream. That sometimes you have an idea and you just can't let it go. It stays with you and with you until you can finally say, you know what, I need to bring this to life. So once I had the idea of making it into a comic book, it kind of just took off. And after teaming up with Edgar Siles out in Costa Rica, we kind of like buckled down, and every day we were mapping out every single shot for shot and how each image and panel is going to look, and finally just taking it off. And I'm surprised on how well it was received, because for me, if one person would have just picked it up and said nice job, I would have been happy with it. Or the fandom could have turned against me and said, hey, I hate this, and could have went south so fast that I'm like, okay, I guess, well, there's no issue number 2. But thankfully, and I'm so grateful that the response has been so overwhelmingly positive that we already are in progress. I'm already knee deep into the script for issue number 2. I've already finished the first draft, so now I'm kind of revising it and tweaking for the second draft. And the artist is currently working on the cover for number 2.
Okay, so when is the number 2 deadline? Like, can we expect it? What, first quarter, second quarter, a month from now, a week from now?
It was originally supposed to be out at the end of this year, but this year was just rough on a lot of aspects, that I had to delay it a little bit. But it will be out the first quarter of 2024. The first half of 2024, issue number 2 will be out, and on the fall of 2024, issue number 3 will be out. I'm already setting the tone of ideas of what I have for issue number 3.
Okay, now I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this comic,
Hmm.
and I see a Rita Repulsa-esque character, or like, who is this? And I see her saying, "You will be my candle that will guide me back."
That's
So,
right.
how is
Henry, did you
this?
see the Power Rangers 2017 film?
I don't know, man. Oh
Oh, we're
yeah,
gonna have movie
I did.
movie night.
I did.
Okay,
I want to say I did because it has a famous actress in it playing
Elizabeth.
the. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I was actually just watching a clip of her. But so it's her coming back because the clip I saw where she was like eating goat, and then I think she made Godar. That's the movie we're
Yes,
talking about, right?
yes,
See,
exactly. So it.
see, I'm like, I'm going back through my memory. I'm like, I know I've seen that shit.
So pretty much in the film, she gets kicked off the planet. So she ends up in space or on the moon. So she hasn't made her way back. So with this story, it's going to deal with a lot of, in a sense, mental health on teenagers in modern age. When you're a teenager, you feel like you know the world and you know better than anyone, and no one can tell you otherwise. How do you mix in a teen moving into a new town, dealing with some past trauma, and really coping with settling into a new life? Mix that in with a evil space alien who was kicked off the planet and trying to make her way back. For her, it's going to be, I'm in theory, I'm going to use this loaded weapon and weaponize it and really direct it to her benefit, which is going to be the people who booted her off the planet, which is the Power Rangers themselves. So Tommy becomes the Green Ranger in this, spoiler, but you guys knew it was going to happen. Um, the Green Ranger, Tommy becomes the Green Ranger in this story, and it's not going to be your 93, let's do it, guys, type of Tommy. It's not. This Tommy is going to be a lot more aggressive. He's going to be a lot more hurt, and he's not going to just say, "Okay, guys, let's go to the juice bar. No problem." Yes,
He's
Kimberly. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of
All right,
troublesome in
it's
there, and I'm going
morphin'
to be
time.
twisting up a lot of things to really mix up the bag on this rendition of 2017 for it, which I'm really excited for.
now speaking of just Kimberly and all that good stuff. Do you have a similar love interest in this comic?
There will be
Get your
a
money up.
interest of sort that will build, but also some tension in between.
Now, I do have a question from the chat. They saying, is the love interest going to be Francis?
It may be that
Hey yo, what the fuck?
transfer student from Reefside, and they could have that could be like an ex-girlfriend who like transferred in to Angel Grove, where Tommy goes, I go, and that could have been,
Now,
that could have been it.
someone said, I bet JDF would have loved this. Since you were working on it for so long, did you get any of his input in developing this comic book series?
He did know. He did know that he was going to be in the issue. I had talked to him previously about the idea, and one day we had talked about it privately. It was a brief comment discussion, and then we kind of talked about it more during our live of what he really wanted his role to be in the 2017 film, where it was just a cameo. So JDF had filmed 2 cameos in the Power Rangers 2017 film.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was scrapped, which was him and Amy Jo in a Krispy Kreme bar. He had grew his hair out to really give that Tommy look. And the 2 Rangers were in there kind of like having a good time, eating donuts, and they kind of scrapped it. And then they shot another one, which was him and Amy Jo in the crowd, which him in his short hair. And he always wished that the role was a little more different versus a cameo 1, cameo 2. And the idea that he kind of played around with, which kind of aligned with mine, was, what if he was the father of Tommy in this universe? So we had spoken about it, and I said, listen, I'm going to make that happen into my fan story itself. But unfortunately, he never got to see the ending product of it, which was, it was heartbreaking for it. But I had dedicated, and if you go before page 1, there's a dedication page.
I do see your I do see your dedication. In dedication to a legend who inspired the world to be better, a role model that reminded us there are 86,400 seconds in a day and taught endlessly. It is up to us what we make the most of it. Um, this is nice. This is touching. Has his birth year to his homegoing year. Now, did you get any pushback from like Hasbro or anything like that when you made this?
Knock on wood, not so far. No, nothing has been. No one's reached out to me or anything like that so far. Anyone who's reached out has been supportive, but nothing from those up top. But Hasbro's very supportive of a lot of fan films and content creators, you know, that help keep the brand alive over the years. I know they're taking a break on a lot of things, but you know, they've haven't really interfered a lot with a lot of content creators, a lot of Power Ranger content creators with creating fan films and fan inspired comic books, and they really haven't interfered too much in regards to stepping in and saying no, don't do that. Which is good, but you know, they haven't said anything bad or said, you know, pump the brakes.
What
So,
about
you know,
what about Amy Jo Johnson? Now she reached out and said, "Hey, I got a comic coming out too. We're gonna need to push yours back until mine come out." Like anything like that.
no,
Has she
nope.
has she contacted you about this? Like, has any former Ranger contacted you about this comic book?
I received some compliments from Ranger actors at conventions. So what I did one convention earlier this year in Atlanta, and I did a soft release on the comic book before I officially made it out and released it online and into the public. I really wanted to get a grasp of how fans would engage to it. So I did a soft release at a convention once, and everyone was absolutely loved it, and I received compliments of the artwork especially and the story from fans and Ranger actors alike. And I even had a shirt that I had put together for the weekend, which one early funny pics that JDF and I took was we were at a convention and somebody had like one of the filming clapboards, and we had took a photo and he's like holding the clapboard and I'm behind it.
Mm-hmm.
For I had taken that photo and I had artwork made of me in the 2017 suit and him in the 90s Green Ranger suit holding the clapboard, kind of like a passing of the torch in a sense, and it said legacy under there. And everyone was complimenting the shirt, which drew attention to. I'd never seen that suit before. Where's that suit from? Well, since you asked, let me tell you about Rise of the Dragon. For it, you know, I wanted to make sure that I honored my brother any way that I can, because I miss that man every single day, you know, and there's always going to be a gap of, you know, hearing him, you know, being silly pranks, you know, it's always weird going on social media and not seeing that go live icon across all social medias and going live and engaging everybody. So, you know, I try to do the same, you know, every maybe once or twice a week, just to keep the fans engaged and help keep that memory of Tommy Oliver alive. You know, those will always be shoes that will always be big enough that can never be filled. But that doesn't mean that I can't help his fans try to bring a little bit of smiles out in the process, you know. And my rendition of Tommy Oliver, hopefully, you know, that helps. The fans will like it and they'll enjoy it, and they'll look forward to wanting to read more stories for Rise of the Dragon.
I agree. And you know, here guys is Patrick Skye in his cosplay outfit. Or is it costumes or outfits? It's like little people or midgets. Which one do you prefer? Outfits
The
or
term is
costume?
cosplay, so it's costume play. So it's all cosplay whenever I dress up, because we're really big kids having fun. We're dressing up in costumes and going to these convention events, and you know, I really do it to make people smile. The very first time that I had cosplayed, it was non-Power Ranger related. It was New York Comic Con, and
Mm-hmm.
just a quick camp story. I had dressed up as, it was my very first Comic Con in New York Comic Con. I didn't know what I was doing, but I had bought this costume off of eBay, which was the Green Arrow from Smallville, and I had wore it, did a whole weekend, and I was coming out waiting for a cab, and there was a person just on the sidelines, kind of like crying, and it looks like they had a bad time at the convention. And she lifted her head up, and you know, I was with friends. We were all kind of like in DC Comics characters, and she had kind of got up and said, "Hey, can I take a picture?" She wiped her eyes. She's like, "Can I take a picture of you guys?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, absolutely." She was like, "You guys are my favorite characters from Smallville," and it kind of cheered up my day. So for me, that's when it kind of became wide opening to me that you putting on something as simple as a costume can brighten up someone's whole day. Why not do it more? So I enjoy attending these conventions because it brings the smiles to people's faces that you don't know what they're going through outside of normal life. We do these conventions, we go watch these movies, read these comic books to get away from the reality of life.
I am with you. I'm all about escaping for a small moment. Any questions you guys have for Patrick about the making of this comic, or anything else related to Comic Cons or cosplay? I know he has like a connection on the gloves and the boots. He was talking to some people about that, like, yo, I can get you the gloves for a low price. I think it was something like that. I remember. But any questions for him, guys? And what is your next Comic Con appearance? Like, where are you going to
For
be
2024,
next?
I'm currently booking for 2024. So the plan is for 3 conventions is to attend Ranger Stop Atlanta in Atlanta, Georgia, Power Morphicon in Anaheim, California, and Ranger Station, Philadelphia, and of course New York Comic Con in October. Now, whether there as an attendee or guest, that's currently up in the air. That depends on the convention. If they decide to invite me back as a guest, that's up to them. If you guys want me at a convention, feel free to reach out to the convention owners or the convention page. Say, hey, we want that guy Patrick Skye at the convention, and maybe they'll check out my social medias and they'll say, hey, we'd love to invite you over, and I'd love to meet you guys because I see everyone online and I'm great with Instagram names. And once you guys come up to me like, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm like, oh, great, awesome. And I love meeting everyone and so supportive because I've been attending these conventions and doing these indie fan films and cosplays for 10 to maybe 13 years. And everyone has been so positive and uplifting. And I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing without the support of everybody through social medias and conventions itself. And I do it because you guys are showing support. And it's the same thing, be sure to support Henry. Be sure to like the live, subscribe to the page, so his social media's love, because he's doing the exact same work. He's bringing enjoyment and laughter.
I am trying to make y'all laugh. I do see security is in the chat, so if any of y'all act up, I'm sending Mike Bradley to y'all house. He gonna be knocking. But we did get a question from Cheyenne. She said, "Where can she buy the comic book? Is there like an online link? Is there a store? Is there a storefront? Is there like a digital versus a physical copy? Can you speak about purchasing options for your comic book?"
Yeah. So currently right now, digital copies are available on my social media. If you go to my Instagram, my TikTok, my Facebook, in my bio, it has the link directly to my Etsy account, and it'll take you directly to my Etsy. Unfortunately, physical copies are sold out. I sold them out earlier this year, thankfully. But, digital is available for purchase if you go through my Etsy account itself. But for next year, once I issue number 2, I do a limited release of physical copies, and then after that, I release it digitally.
All right, wow. So, guys, if you want to go buy the new Rise of the Dragon, this is a continuance to the 2017 Power Rangers movie. You have to go to, I would just say, his Instagram account. I didn't know he was Instagram famous when he first came on the stream. I don't know if you guys know the history. I was, just covering JDF, and at the end, he hit the link, said, could he come up? He thanked me for everything I was doing. And then he walked off like it was nothing. Then lo and behold, someone's like, yo, did you know you had Patrick Skye on your stream last night? I'm like, who the fuck is that? Anyone can hit the link. I don't know, celebrity or non-celebrity, but he's been joining most of these Power Ranger streams for quite some time now. Like, you've been following for almost a year now.
Almost a year. Yeah, you know what it is, because you have a really dope vibe, and it's the way that you run these streams. You have a good time. You have a good enjoyment.
Man,
keeps you on wanting to tune in, which I appreciate and I enjoy it.
Henry, thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Patrick, for that compliment. It's not too often I get compliments. If you don't know, I low-key put my foot in my mouth on a video that I did, and it's about at least 100 people ready to just kick my back in. They're just sitting in the chat, just waiting to pounce. You ever saw like a cheetah hunt where they're like, boom, boom?
Was that this morning stream earlier today?
I dropped a video around 4 p.m. about a big streamer, and it didn't get the most positive response.
Okay.
And the big streamer watched my video and proved it was not a good video.
But you know what though? You listen. Any type of reaction is a reaction, and that's it.
I know. But let me see if I have anyone else who wants some questions for Patrick Skye. It can be about anything because I don't want him to be on screen when we get into this next topic. It is Power Ranger related and it's not the most positive. So I try to like keep all that heat on myself. It's a follow up to some of the negative comments that were made. ASJ, he did triple down.
Bad boys, what you gonna do?
Oh boy.
What you gonna do when they come for you?
Oh boy.
On his stance, and I do have it. You like Henry? You got it? Like yes.
You dig, bro. You like to dig.
I do have his response, and I'm just like, well, I promised Patrick a certain time, and I have to be respectful of his time and bring him up at that time. Just in case you never know what people got going on with their life. I would hate to say, hey, come on around 9 o'clock and then hey, 10 o'clock, you can come on. We don't do stuff like that over here.
Once you had told me 9, I had cleared everything out before that. I was doing Christmas shopping too. Yeah, and I once he said 9, I was like, all right, cool. Then I cleared everything out before that. I rushed everything. I scarfed down tacos before, and I was like, you know what? I picked up.
Yeah,
I knocked out all my family's Christmas shopping. I have a couple of friends that I need to finish picking up for before I see them this weekend because Saturday I have a photo shoot a cosplay photo shoot where I'm going to recreate the promotional images that JDF took in his 90s Green Ranger and White Rangers from the 90s.
Oh, that's going to be dope. That is going to be dope. King Coffee said, would you turn the comic into a film or series?
A couple of people have asked me that. That was originally the plan. The original plan was to have a live action sequel. And just at the time, it just didn't pan out the way I wanted it to. And then after that, I was like, well, maybe it's easier to do a web series, but a web series didn't feel like it matched the tone of the film. I didn't want to break it up into parts, and when it got good, well, wait until the next episode. Versus,
I hate that.
I didn't want to turn it into a Dragon Ball Z. Next time on Dragon Ball Z. I was
yo, what the fuck?
I'm gonna make it as a comic. For me, I felt that suited because you can go back. Who knows what digital will be in the next 20 years from now, the next evolution after VHSs, CDs, Blu-rays, and now digital. But paper comics will always stay with you. You'll always hold those long boxes of comics.
I think comics is going to go the future of digital. Oh, give me a second. I think they're going to all be like this. This is the future of comics. Physical copies are going to go to the wayside. And everything will be digital because... this copy that you sent me, it's going to go with Jason's other one. But I don't think it's too many people collecting physical items these days. I actually struggled
with that. I really struggled with releasing it digitally because I didn't want to deprive people of physical copies, but also anyone who would try to screen grab it and just release it online versus actually supporting. But there were a lot of international people who reached out to me from London or from even further out, like, we want copies or we want to read it. And it's rough trying to ship international. So I was like, enough reached out to us. I said, I'm going to release it digitally. The demand is there enough. So I was like, I'm going to release it digital, and showed up. Everyone supported. And I was like, so internally grateful that it's picked up a second wave of, holy, wow, this is a fantastic, and they just keep, more and more people keep sharing it, which I'm internally and forever green and forever blessed that so many people are enjoying it. Because again, it could have went south so fast.
Right.
Everyone said, boo this man, threw pitchforks at me and, got me offline. Like, you know what? It was so bad.
That is a great soundbite to have. that boo this man.
Exactly.
He showed his age a little bit when he said it, but comedic purposes, guys, for comedic purposes, and to show our age. Give me a second.
There it is. There it is, exactly.
Do y'all remember that from Dave Chappelle? I mean, this was only R.I.P. Bob Saget, right? Because if you remember the clip and you remember what Bob Saget said versus what Dave Chappelle said, because Bob Saget, he said he dropped neck for some coke, where Dave he was like, "Have you ever done that?" And Dave Chappelle was like, "Well, damn, no." But anywho, we don't.
Nobody it don't catch people off guard about Bob Saget because they see him as the perfect father in Full House, and then when you really get to see how he was in real life, it's a completely different person.
Correct. He was one of the raunchiest comedics walking the earth, and it caught the comedy world, off guard when it's like, wait, this guy talks about dropping neck for crack.
Yep.
And now he's America's father. And it was like, yep, that's him. That's him. Well, any last words, Patrick? I believe I've took up the 30 minutes of your time, which is how I try to cap it off so we don't monopolize your night. Any final words to the fans that you want to let them know? Any messages that you would like to say? One last, hey guys, this is what it is.
Feel free to follow all my social medias on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, patrickskye.co. Pretty simple. If you're interested in the comic, the link is in my bio. Feel free to tap it, support, and drop some feedback on it. But aside from that, I hope everyone has a great holiday, a great New Year's. Be safe. And most importantly, if you are struggling with mental health, if you feel like you have no one to talk to, especially during this time of season, feel free to reach out. Dial or text 988, and there is a whole team of people that will support you during this time for you to reach out. And if you feel like donating this year, this season, or anytime, feel free to donate to the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, which will help more and more people be able to reach out to those who are definitely struggling with mental health awareness.
All right, guys. Thank you, Patrick. That was Patrick Skye. My platform is pretty much open to everybody. If you got a story, you got something you want to share, I'll typically bring you up. I have no issue with that, especially if you've been rocking with me for a while.